Hey, what's going on, guys? It's time for another Ask Chris. I'm really trying to get this intro perfected and really trying to sound super excited for it. But I suck at intros and I basically suck at talking on video. I don't know why you guys fucking watch me, but that's okay. Couple of announcements. I am about 2.5 weeks out from the Legends Classic. I'm going to be competing in the Classic Physique division. Not sure how it's going to pan out. It's a new division. You never know who's going to show up. I'm feeling pretty good, though. I have leaned out quite a bit since the last time you guys have seen me. And let's check out my stomach. I'm not going to talk to you guys specifically here about my diet. I have posted that up on my private mastermind training group, and if you want, you can go check it out there. I'm not trying to fucking be a dick, but I got to give my clients who do subscribe to me there some value, and that's the way it works. Anyways, I love you guys though, and I want to answer your questions. Was there anything else I got to say? No, there wasn't. So I'll just get right into the questions. My bro, Dark Muscle. This guy's a U.S. Marine, really awesome guy. It's dark_muscle. If you can get on Instagram and follow him right now, check him out. He asked, what's your take on BCAAs? And my take on this has changed over different periods of time. Until I knew about the real science behind it, I was all for BCAAs in all circumstances. I actually used to drink them throughout the day. And the real kind of bro explanation for taking BCAAs is that they create a protective buffer around your muscles through the amino acids. So you're feeding off of them during the workout and protecting your muscle mass while you're leaning out. It's also said that they help with recovery. And this is partially true, but not the reality. The reality is that BCAAs actually don't contain all the amino acids you need to absorb them and to repair muscle mass. They only contain 3 of them. And those are the specific branched chain amino acids. They're very important amino acids for building muscle, but they're not all of them. So they're not complete, and they're not going to help with tissue repair right off the bat. What they will do in your body in the absence of the other amino acids is they will turn into sugar, spike your insulin, and fuel your body with glucose, right? So what I said before about them protecting muscle mass in a very low calorie state, that's true because you're feeding off of sugar. But for me, who wants to remain in a very low insulin state, who is doing a ketogenic diet, BCAAs aren't the best thing in the world. What I do take are essential amino acids, and those contain all of the amino acids you need to repair tissue. And studies have actually demonstrated that essential amino acids are way more effective for repairing muscle mass, building muscle mass, and for people like me in a very low calorie state right now, is training for a show, they're absolutely an essential part of my prep. So definitely take a look at those. Ways that BCAAs can be useful. They can be useful just by what I said, because they create that glucose in your bloodstream to feed off of through a workout, so they can give you a little bit of energy. They can also work in conjunction with other foods. So if you're having a meal that may contain certain amino acids and then you take your BCAAs with them, then that can help with protein absorption from that meal. Andrew Peel, another Marine, he said, waiting for another peace lover with conflicted opinions to ask you if you should be a Marine officer. If you like peace and you're a hippie, don't join the Marine Corps. Nothing against hippies. I love hippies. I've been a hippie at different points in my life, but Marine Corps is not a place for hippies. Reality is life. What are really good supplements to take while combining them together to burn the fat fast? I know diet is key, but what's the helpers? Man, this is a really open-ended, complicated question, because different people are going to require different things. And I don't want to sit here and act like any particular group of supplements or anything like that is the end all be all. I can tell you what I would take. And so, you know, I would have a high degree of anti-inflammatories in there, like curcumin and fish oil, just to take care of my body and make sure that all the stress I'm putting on it isn't going to lead to a lot of damage. Because I might look great right now, and I want you to understand this, I'm not fucking healthy. This is not a good state for me to be in. Yeah, this looks good. I have striations. That's awesome. But it's not a fucking healthy state for me to be in. And as soon as I can, after I'm done competing in this show, I am going to get my fucking ass back up to 10% body fat, because that's where I want to be to mentally and physically perform. And all of you who think that you can survive in a state like this for long while pursuing any amount of ambition, you're fooling yourself. You've got to be between 8 and 10%, probably almost as high as 12 to 15% to actually function normally. Once you get below 8%, your brain starts to go. And I'm feeling very slow right now, and the reason why I have this thick ass beard right now is because I don't want you to see my skeleton ass face. So think about that. Bodybuilding is not about health. Bodybuilding is about a sport. But back to your question. Supplements that you take, yeah, the anti-inflammatories. On top of that, what you could do is take certain things that would help to mobilize fat. You could take, for example, L-carnitine or acetyl L-carnitine. Now, this is a product that helps to release fat from the fat capsule or the cell into the bloodstream, where it can be burned, because it can't be burned while it's in the cell. And it's useful to take about 1,000 milligrams of this prior to a cardio workout or prior to a training session to help with mobilization of fat and using it for fuel. I myself would also take a probiotic bacteria with this, because L-carnitine can absolutely ruin your gut health to the point where you're at a higher risk for intestinal cancer. So again, there's this playoff between health and getting lean. Beyond that, coffee and green tea, they both have compounds in them that are known to promote fat burning. I don't recommend fat burners. I'm not going to tell you about any anabolic substances, because if you want to think about that, then you can consult with a doctor. But best practices, things you can do: work in a cold environment. That will help to mobilize some of your white adipose tissue into brown adipose tissue, which helps with fat burning. And cold showers. And on top of that, being as active as possible. So after you eat a meal, get up, walk around for about 15 minutes. That will level out your blood sugar, level out your insulin levels, which is another big factor that's going to help you with fat loss. But there are no magic pills. And again, as I said, I'm a big advocate of the ketogenic diet, and you can look at my other videos if you want to talk about that. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. Some people are smartasses on here. August Bruno 3, do you use organic coffee? Yes, I do. I get it from a place out here called Clark's Nutrition. It's a really good blend, highly caffeinated, gets me all riled up in the morning. Let's see other ones. So this is a good question from my boy CGY Hoops. Structured eating plan for the day, or take food and nutrients when I feel hungry? Sometimes I take in food because it's time to eat without feeling hungry. I used to be about making you eat even when you weren't hungry, just to get the nutrients in. I feel very differently about this now. One, I think that there is such a benefit to hunger and to being hungry. And the thing is, in this culture, particularly this fitness / bodybuilding culture, but in American culture in general, we're so scared of being hungry. But a lot of you have never been abroad, and you haven't been in places that are covered with fucking sewage, and you haven't been in places where people are truly suffering, and you've never seen real hunger. I'll never say I'm hungry again. I'll never say I'm starving again, because we're not starving. You're just a little bit uncomfortable. And that little bit of discomfort is probably helping to mobilize fat in your bloodstream to fuel your brain and to help with fat loss. So what I would say as far as eating and for fitness and whatever other types of pursuits, whether that be bodybuilding or anything else, I would eat when you're hungry. I would eat when you feel the need to, and develop that kind of thing in your body that takes in nutrition based on necessity rather than based on an external algorithm or an external desire for pleasure. So I think that there's too much obsession on eating a lot in this industry. You don't need to eat a lot. I don't eat a lot at all. And I'm fine. I've competed in Spartan races, eating under 1,800 calories a day. I've competed in powerlifting, eating under 1,800 calories a day. And I've been absolutely fine, and my body is much healthier because of it. I'm not recommending you to starve yourself, but rather than following some 8-meal-a-day template or trying to smash 5,000 calories a day, why don't you get your body what it needs and get your body to respond and become more efficient at processing sugar, processing protein, processing fats, and just be an efficiency machine. Sorry if that's, I'm going all over the place. Definitely not on right now, and I'm sorry, it's probably because of the show prep. But yeah, eat when you're hungry. Dare to be King. Chris, is there anything wrong or harmful in going to a moderate carb diet for a while after doing keto for the last 8 to 9 months? I mean, dude, if you want to experiment with it, go ahead and experiment with it. I have nothing against with any other type of diet. I just talk about the keto diet because I think people are misinformed about it. But there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to switch over for a while. See what it does. Do an experiment of one. And that's the same is true with anything in your life, in your training, in your business, in your personal success. You've got to run experiments. You can't just listen to everything I say and do what I think is okay. You got to do what your body responds to. And then Abu Majid, can I have carbs and healthy fats together after training legs? Well, so in answer to this question, I really think that, well, here's the thing. You're asking the question in a way that kind of leans towards something called healthy fats. And I don't think that there is something called healthy fats. Everything in nutrition has a context. And so the context that I gave you originally, if you've been watching my videos about fats and carbohydrates, is not that fats and carbohydrates are bad together. What's bad is, well, they can be bad together, but what's bad is if you have a consistently high blood sugar and a consistently high levels of inflammation, which most of you do if you're eating 500 grams of carbohydrates a day and doing lots of physical activity like going to the gym. All this stuff increases inflammation. This can lead to heart disease. And so what I want you to understand here is that, is there a problem with eating a cup of white rice post-workout with maybe a shot of olive oil and some garlic salt? No, I've done it in the past. And I think it's delicious and it tastes really good. It makes you feel good after a workout. Is there a problem with going in and out every once in a while after a workout? No, I do that now. I did it 3 weeks ago. There's not a problem with it. If you're fucking loading carbohydrates up with fats every time after workout, you're doing that consistently on a consistent basis, then there's a possibility then that, yeah, that could lead to higher and higher levels of inflammation that can eventually cause you to suffer from things like heart disease. And so what I'm trying to get you to recognize here is that, as with everything in nutrition and dieting, is that moderation counts. Being smart counts, right? So if you're going to eat carbs on higher activity days. If you're going to have fats, keep your carbohydrate levels low. But if you want to once a week load up on calories after a leg workout, that's fine. and could be healthy. It could help preserve your thyroid hormone, for example. But at the same time, don't take anything I say and then go overboard with it. So I don't want any of you to be like, well, Chris says this, so I'm going to be ketogenic. Or, Chris said eat carbs after your leg day, so in order to put on mass, I'm going to eat tons of carbs. What I'm giving you is bits and pieces of information. And what you got to do is take these bits and pieces of information, research for yourself, and experiment on yourself for what works for you. I'm not psychic. I'm not a guru. I can't come through the screen and send my spirit to help you out. So you guys got to put the work in here. And the work is not in the gym. The work is in books. The work is in reading. The work is in getting information and then experimenting on yourself in a smart way. So that's all I got for this week. If you guys have any other questions for me, please put them below. And if not, I will see you next week.